Hello, hello, everybody. Looks like we're live again. Welcome to another TerrafirmaGreg playthrough. I was doing some stuff earlier before we started stream, so my game's actually launched this time and already ready before time. Okay, let's jump back in. As you can tell from the title of the stream, winter is coming soon to us in Terra Firma Greg. We should be approaching winter by the end of this stream, I think. I'll have to double check the time, the time of year. Which we're running into a couple big issues because of winter and where we're at. Most of those issues boil down to conifer rosin. Because what temperature is it? It's currently -24, which is not warm enough for the trees to be able to tap the resin from them. There may be some things we have to do to go somewhere where it is less of an issue. Um, at least enough to get some resin. I mean, I think we might place some tree taps somewhere in a warmer climate that we can maybe go and visit, but right now it doesn't it's not that they're not uh they're not giving us any resin. Or I think it's pitch. We need the pitch. Minimum temperature needs to be at -10°C is the big issue, is that we need it to be -10°C before we can really start doing anything. Which means we might go and try and find some stuff in another climate. Maybe travel north a little bit, but I don't know. Not north, south. I don't know. A big part of me is also like, no, we're settling in the Arctic. We're going to be, doing the Arctic thing until later. Okay. One of the things I was doing before we logged off last time was clearing off these things on the walls or on the ceiling so that I can fill in any gaps, holes in the ceiling. I don't know how far back we really need to go, because I think back here, okay. Go through and remove all of these that we had done previously. More smooth shape. Raw shale. Like I said, I'm just going to clear off these ones off of the ceiling. I see these pockets in the ceiling are, I think, what might be causing it so that we can't continue mining. Okay, so let's start filling in the holes. And probably jump. Guess I'm filling into this spot here. Okay. How much? Hey, Bones, how's it going? Alright, I think I figured out why is this. And see, this is the issue. I can't be dealing with a collapse again. why are these sections might trigger collapse? I gotta figure that out. Why are you guys threatening to collapse? There's no reason for this place to be threatening to collapse. Okay, I'm just gonna go through and like fill things in. See, like these are might trigger collapse. Ported might trigger collapse. What happens if I do like that? Are you still gonna? You're still gonna trigger a collapse. You still want to trigger a collapse when I do that. I will know the secrets someday. It's just it's all might trigger a collapse. And I really I really don't want to deal with another cave-in. And I'm just not really sure why it's supported but might collapse still. I'm gonna figure that out. Hold on. Maybe this is a problem that we look up online. I'm having trouble figuring out exactly why this is going on. Crap. Supported rock. I've looked up the rules for what makes rocks collapse, but like, man, it's like these are complicated. They're complicated rules. Okay, when you mine a stone block, raw stone block, and only a raw stone block, there's a 10% chance that a will be scanned for unsupported collapsible block. See, that's what it's got to be. It's because there's got to be blocks somewhere nearby that are, oh god, it's getting dark in here. There's got to be like blocks in the ceiling or something that are unsupported and threatening to collapse that it's like triggering off of. It's actually warm in here. When it tries to when I mine it, right? So it's that there's a 10% chance that a 9 by 9 by 5 cube, which is 2 up, 2 down, 4 out, sideways, will be scanned for unsupported collapsible blocks, raw stone and ore block. If it finds an unsupported collapsible block that is not in range of a horizontal support beam, okay, a collapse begins to propagate. Okay, I'm just gonna have to I'm gonna have to put a lot of supports in, I think, to figure out exactly what's going on here. Or I could just abandon this part of the cave to the elements until we unlock better supporting material and continue to dig in some direction that's not like this direction or something. Like I could start digging in like here. And this could be like part of the entrance. We're getting real dwarf fortress in here. These ones. There are in this mod pack, yes. It was something that got added with the new update. Let me see if I can. They added in these rock supports. These actually aren't better than the wooden ones. They're just, I guess, if you have a lot of rocks around. They have concrete supports using Greg Tech concrete, which is gonna be, I think, a while before we have access to that. I don't remember how to make this stuff, but I'm pretty sure it's a while before we get that. Dark concrete, which is kind of the same thing. You also have rebar supports, which is probably going to be what we can get access to first, because it's only steel that we need. And then you can also do reinforced concrete, which is just rebar with concrete added to it. And those are the best ones. But yeah, you can see they added in with the tooltip. They added in like the support area. So the main supports do 9 by 5 by 9, and a rebar would be 17 by 9 by 17, and then the reinforced concretes are 33 by 13 by 33. So like they support a huge area. So like if I can get access to this rebar support, like we would be able to probably like support all this junk and make it so that I could like come back and um fill all this stuff in. But let's see. What else do I need? I got my sandwiches. Let me eat my sandwiches. Rye bread sandwich. It's like mostly still meat though. All right. I could also take the risk on these like on these couple. I feel like it's got to be further up though. I feel like the reason why this is wanting to collapse is like further up. Which I could also just we could also just like do this. Which I guess we can't. Okay, are you supported now? Okay, whatever that did, fix that. Okay, that's good. Yeah, because we want these out of the way. Well, support beams, so they actually do support a... They support a block above the horizontal support beams as well. The... And they might actually support 2 blocks, now that I'm looking at it. So they do actually support a little bit above themselves. It's just, I think there are pockets of, like, unsupported stone somewhere, like, in, like, up there, and raising up the support beams will extend the range far enough that it's now... Because, like, these ones are still threatening to trigger a collapse, and I think it's because the same thing is happening somewhere back in this direction. Luckily, this isn't as big of an issue because these are on the ceiling, and like even though it looks bad, like having the having the ceiling be a little bit a little rough is better than what we were already doing. Oh yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting. The reason why this hallway is weird is because it's actually a 2 by it's an odd or an even number of blocks instead of an odd number. Okay, but I'm gonna dig down a bit more. See, these ones are unsupported. So that's because they're far enough horizontally or whatever. Yeah, see, now they're supported. I just gotta... Typically, I don't think there's any issue as long as the one in the middle is fine. Okay, but this is working out much better. Yeah. Yeah, see, this is... Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is going a lot better than previous attempts. I'll have to go through and... We'll have to go through and smooth this later, but let's get this hallway out a bit. Let's turn on the chunk borders just so I can see where they are. I want to go at least another chunk in, which is good because this is pretty close. I guess I don't even have to be doing the full if I'm going to be clearing out the other section later. Weakly poisonous. Does that mean I can't touch this? Caused by inhalation. Where did I get a tiny pile of galena dust anyways? You know, I should probably store that somewhere safe. Where did I get a tiny pile of galena dust? It has to be, it's from something that bears lead and silver. I don't remember doing anything with that. Yeah. Keep going. Yeah, see, now everything's fine and supported once we get into here. Okay, so this is the start of like this is the start of the chunk border. So we'll go in at least this far, and then maybe start branching off. I don't know. Actually, let's go another one. Yeah, let's go another chunk in. Maybe more. I'm liking this. I'm liking this so far. Having the mining hammer really does make this a lot easier, though. Okay, I think at this point, though, I will go back and start smoothing this area out, though. Our next goal that we need to be focusing on once we get, I mean, I guess I'm clearing this out just because I want it to look good, but we need to focus on getting bronze. We already have a decent source of copper, so that's really not that big of a deal. And now that I've got the mining hammer, we can do a lot more mining. I'm gonna like smooth this tunnel. Okay, come on. Where's my Oh, okay. I don't know why it lags. I mean, it was probably loading the book. I meant to hit the trash can though. It's kind of honestly, it's still one of those things I got to get used to, remembering that I have the God, was I dropping frames earlier? It looks like I was, but it looks like it's fine now. But one of the things I got to get used to is the fact that you can just use the trash can. Like it really feels like something that TerrafirmaGreg wouldn't let you just do. Like it feels like that would be something that would require require some kind of item. All right, we'll get more as we go, but let's take stone hammer and our chisel. And I guess, yep, off we go. There's a slight cooldown on the chisel though. It'll take a little bit of time. And from this tunnel, I'll be able to start branching off into other areas and start putting in new rooms and stuff off to the sides. So I know there's cassiterite in the hills somewhere, but yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to make we'll have to make a mine down to the cassiterite so we can get access to tin. Okay, I won't smooth the wall all the way over there. It's still gonna be a rough wall. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is gonna be good. This is gonna look real nice once we get done. And maybe I do smooth the end of the hallway because when it comes time to remove that that end, we can just use the smooth shale to fill in some of the gaps in our roof. Okay, so now we just have the ceiling. Actually, I will smooth this cap here at the end just so it looks good. We can always use a little bit more smooth shale. I think what I'm gonna do is I am gonna have this hallway lead to something interesting. I do think we're going to... Actually, maybe we start going down from here. Because we need to go deeper. We need to go deeper into the ground. For... Well... Actually, now that I think about it, there's not really a reason for us to go deeper, is there? I guess I can kind of just stay towards the surface. We'll find reasons to go deeper later, though. I know that we're going to have to go down to bedrock eventually, because first of all, we need to go to the beneath in order to get some things, especially for steel processing. And there's also something even more interesting than that is I found a tip in the quest book that said that we can find it's warmer down by bedrock, so we can find temperatures at bedrock level are, I think the book said 15°C, and so we could set up a farm down there instead of having to do stuff with the greenhouse. We'll probably will still do some things with greenhouse, with the greenhouse stuff up here anyways, because it's going to be a while before we travel down to, or before we even really had the technology to farm down at bedrock level even. So we'll have to do that, and then we can set up a farm down there and start on some things, and we wouldn't have to really worry about the wouldn't have to worry about the greenhouse as much. I think the only things that you can't grow at 15°C though are uh bell peppers, which they grow at like 16°C, so it's like almost there but not close enough. And papyrus, which is actually kind of a bit of an issue because it would be nice to have bigger papyrus farms, but I guess we're just not going to be able to do that. All right, I need more storage. Why? I got a barrel like here. I feel like if we got less barrel or more barrel, we need more barrel. I need another item barrel so that I can move stuff around. Let's make a couple of those. Oak lumber. I'm gonna need more oak lumber. Luckily, we got lots of oak. And pop, pop, pop. So what I could probably do is make a little bit of an item storage area here. It's not going to be organized yet. Organization's going to come a lot later. I know I made, when I did the playthrough the first time, I did have a really big like warehouse area that I made fairly early on. And we might actually do something like that here. What's the chunk border look like? Okay, this is right on a chunk border. So, I mean, we don't necessarily have to stick with the chunk borders unless it's... GregTech machines need to be built within the same chunk. And a lot of automation stuff needs to be built in the same chunk, just so that we have a way to keep it loaded and everything. But not everything absolutely needs to be built on the chunk. But it does make things easier later on, if we're at least somewhat mindful about trying to build on chunks. Okay, have I gotten enough? Wait, do I not? I don't have a backpack yet, do I? Great. That is definitely one thing we need. We need a backpack. Let me add that to the list. Caps lock on. See, we need 4 pieces of leather. We also need a lot of string. I think that's the big thing we're missing right now, because we make paper... Oh, God, what is it? Okay, we need the unrefined paper. Drying the thermochemically treated, which is just lye. How do I get lye? It's wood ash. Okay, wonderful. We'll worry about that later. Okay, let's go check on the yak. And oh, okay. All the garlic is dead. I don't think we're getting extra seeds back from this. If these were grown a little bit more, we'd get extra seeds back instead of just getting the one seed that we put into it. They didn't really have enough time to mature before that happened. Alright, so we're officially at the point where we can't grow anything outside. The average temperature, the current temperature is negative 25 degrees Celsius. That's pretty cold. That's, like, really cold. I'm gonna check on the muskox, though. Who knows if that muskox is ready? I don't think it is, because I'm pretty sure we have shorn it recently. What time of month is it, actually? It is October. Yeah, we should be getting close to winter by the end of the stream. Yeah, how's it going here? You know, I was thinking about it, and, oh, I didn't bring my lead. I need to remember, I should carry my lead with me at all times. It's one of those ones that we shouldn't just, like, put away. So, we can just lead a bunch of animals into that pit there and just kind of leave them. It doesn't matter if we can't get familiarity with them, because, like, if we're able to at least, like, have them, then we can tame them later. Once it gets to be summertime, we can start growing some grains. And actually, we could probably start in the spring, but once it starts to warm up, we can start growing grains to grow or to tame the animals. I'm gonna do my lead back. Oh. We also need to make candles, which is another thing we need string for. Candles will last a lot longer. I think they're the same brightness, but I'm not 100% sure, though. Okay, let's go find that 10. I know there's gonna be... I've put some markers out. I don't remember which one was for 10, because I didn't bring my signs with me. You know what? I think... no. There's a really big vein that I marked. I can check, because I know I did actually put a sign there, because this was before I forgot about the sign thing. Well, I just forgot to... it's a bit of an opportunity cost to carry signs with you when you don't have a whole lot of inventory space. Okay, I think the tin was in the direction of the redstone, which was in this way. Our temperature looks pretty good. Especially if we start digging, temperature will... Well, the ambient temperature will go up. We might have to look into underground farms sooner rather than later, though. We don't necessarily need to dig all the way down to bedrock to start a farm. Like, even if it's able to just grow rye down there, it'll be better than where we're at. I'll have to check the... I don't know if it's... I don't know exactly how it determines it for that kind of thing. Okay, there's a marker over there. What was that marker for? Let's go check. It's definitely redstone over here. issue is that the indicators, I'm pretty sure, get covered up by snow. Yeah, I think this is just the general redstone marker. There was another one that I should be able to see from here. That, right there. That's a little bit more difficult because I didn't have the exact kind of marker I normally use, but this is definitely placed here by me. Is this silver, though? I think this is for silver. Oh, wait. There's also cassiterite in here, but I'm pretty sure there's silver in here as well. Well, there's only one thing really to do. I guess it's to start digging down and see what we can find. But yeah, you see it. Oh, did it cover? And then what happened? I could have sworn there was an extra piece of cassiterite there. Okay, whatever. Uh, oh my god. You know what? I forgot to bring my, um, I forgot to bring my ladders. Are there any trees nearby? If there's a tree nearby, I can just make some. And there aren't any trees nearby. Okay. But I know where we are. This is why I like to plant trees all over the place. Let me go grab one of those trees over there, and I'll just make ladders over here, because I brought all my tools with me. Eh? Oh god, okay, oh god. A lot further away than I was thinking. I think I actually planted those trees myself, too, is the funny thing. I see over here, there's all sorts of gold in this area. The cool thing is, I was looking at some of the quests in the quest book, and they have a steam-powered version of the drill, the mining drill that you in previous versions you could only get mining drills once you got up to, yeah, I did plant these. Once you got up to the low voltage era, because the earliest one you could get was a low voltage, uh, what do I call it? A low voltage miner. And so with the addition of the steam miner, I'm going to be trying to get that as soon as I can. We have to wait quite a while because we can't get into the steam age until we get black steel, which is like a pretty big step past the normal steel that it used to cost. So it's going to be more difficult to do all that stuff. We're gonna have to go to the beneath too. A stupid beneath. I mean, it's nice that I'll be able to use it instead of making the grand journey, but I guess we could always just get an airship. I feel like travel time is not very much fun, especially not very fun to like watch. So it's why I like trying to avoid going too hard into like big adventures across like the oceans, because like a lot of it's just me being there and just holding the W key. isn't isn't as much fun as it sounds, which is, makes it even worse because it doesn't sound very fun to begin with. Am I freezing to death? Not yet. Yeah, I'm gonna plant trees out here too, because I bet we'll come back at some point. There's my marker, so it should be right over this hill. Let me start planting the trees. We got like 13 saplings out of that one tree. Yeah, slowly, I'm actually like bringing forest to this area. There we go. All right, saw these up to get a crafting table. And then we need something divisible by 6. I guess would just be 8 times 6. Or I guess we could do 3 times 8. Yeah, actually that's 3 times 8. Okay, I'll place this down. Then if I do 3 of these... Alright, ignore that. There we go. Okay, so I got 64 ladders. That's pretty good to start with. Alright, let's start going down. Let me drink some of my water and eat some of my food. Alright, we're gonna try to go down until we find cassiterite. I don't have a prospecting pick on me, so I'm not exactly sure when that will be. Okay. Let's go down. I guess I could just mine underneath myself as long as I can see. Oh, it's gonna start snowing on the blocks that I'm standing on. There, I guess. See, as we continue to drop, you can see it does sort of get a little warmer. It might not because of the amount of snow that's falling on us, but eventually it will. That's a cave. Okay. I'm gonna ladder back up. Okay, if there's anyone down there, I'm pretty sure we die almost instantly. Okay. I almost fell. Let's see. There's lots of things we can do here. I'm gonna start by placing gravel. Okay. My worry is that there's just gonna be a guy who's just gonna shoot me as soon as I poke my head out down there. Okay. We can do a couple things to try and prevent that though. So like since I can see down here, I can do like this. And I can kind of snake my way down a bit. I can also crawl. Okay. I'm not seeing anyone yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and take all of these and turn them into planks. I should be able to... something like this. Spooky. Okay. I think I just jump down and just go for it. I'm not seeing any dangerous guys. Okay. Oh, I'm freezing to death. Just... oh god. And then... okay, how cold are we? Okay, we're gonna start taking damage here soon. Okay, We're gonna start taking damage soon, but that's okay because I can make it back home. Probably. Or I could start a fire. Ah, that I used up all my logs. Yeah. I might actually die from this. I'm not 100% sure, but I might actually die from this. We've got a little bit of time to get back to base before I start taking damage. I'm pretty sure it starts once it hits like 0, and we have enough insulation that we might be able to make it, but we'll see. As long as we die close to the base, it's not actually that big of a deal. I just need to be able to find my corpse. Take all my stuff off my corpse. The only issue is when we're so low on health because of our diet that if I I think I'd die if I take like 2 ticks of this cold damage. Okay, we're out of stamina, which makes me very slow. Now we go. Okay, we're back to our lake. I could make the caribou armor. I think I'm gonna have to make the caribou armor now. I was gonna wait until the primitive insulation wore down and then replace it, but I might just put the primitive insulation up and use that during the warmer months because I think we can't survive the colder times here the way it is. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of these supports because they're not actually supporting anything right now. Sort of. But I also just don't want them catching on fire. Speaking of fire... Alright. Alright, I'm back, and it looks like everything is cleared up now. Sorry for the issues there. Internet's does that sometimes. My ISP still hasn't gotten around to doing anything to fix that. So I'm gonna have to complain at them again. Alright, I'm getting all my stuff set back up. Okay, we're good. I was just kind of sitting here warming up the whole time. Let me... Can I bet it probably helps if I, like, take my clothes off. Yeah, I'll warm up faster if I take my clothes off, I think, because I don't have the insulation, but it's colder now. But I really need to make that caribou armor clothing, which I need... Uh... No, that's right. I needed more string before I could make the caribou stuff. But I can move this inside. And we can go check on the muskox. I bet it'll have some stuff for us. Oh wait, actually, I have more yarn than I thought I did. If I can trim the muskox one more time, I should have enough to make my full set of caribou hide clothing. Bit of small considerite. Considerite. Putting it there. The main thing that I'm worried about with my the place I'm living in is I'm gonna have to make chimneys to go up to the outside for the forging area, and I bet it's gonna get really cold in there. I don't even know if it'll like it gets cold enough here sometimes that it can't really get anything. You know? Okay, muskox is still not ready. I really don't want to make the stuff without him. Okay, what does it take to make a trapdoor? Is it going to be ridiculous or is it going to be easy? It is... I mean, it's... okay. I mean, it's not like... Okay, well that's obviously not how that's supposed to be. I feel... These ones were added in by TerrafirmaGreg, so I wonder if they... I wonder if they just didn't... Okay. Am I back now? I think I'm... Like I'm back. Yeah. Wonderful. As long as it doesn't last too long. But it's still extremely annoying that it keeps cutting out like that. Put another log on... Well, actually, I don't need... Do I? I know there's some nearby. Actually, there's probably a lot of them in here. Oh.